Not quite yet old enough to enjoy all the trappings of Sin City, but they're young, they're rich, they're doing fine. It's Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper, top 2 picks in the NBA draft this year. Let's start with Cooper Flagg, who was absolutely hooping. The pull-up 3, then driving with the left off glass. Then Dylan Harper showing not his offense, but first his defense.
Oh!
Getting up to reject Ryan Nembhard. It was a 4-on-1 break, and Harper playing defense, but this is why he was drafted number 2 overall. You know, Scooby, he's a lefty. Kind of reminds me of Jalen Brunson when he gets in the lane.
Good point.
And hoops like that. Look at the Euro step off glass from Harper. He had 16 points in just 20 minutes. Then Flagg catching the lob and throwing it down in the second half. Now, they were trailing at this point, but, I mean, it's Summer League. We want to see individual performances, and Flagg absolutely delivered in the fourth. How about a catch-and-shoot triple? Later, he knocks down another 3. Spurs would get the win 76-69, but Flagg had a huge game.
This feels different. I think, you know, it's a new environment, new setting. You know, they want to see me be aggressive and do that type of stuff. So I was trying my best to just be aggressive and assert myself early, get to the line. And I think I did that a lot better today, just getting to the line and foul, and that helped me to come in and get settled.
All right, Mavs lost. Who cares? Cooper Flagg looks solid. Everybody cares. He had just 10 points in his Thursday debut against the Lakers, but then rebounded for 31 last night against the Spurs. That's tied for the most in a game by a number 1 overall pick in Summer League history, tying the mark set by John Wall back in 2002.
On Saturday, we saw the NBA's best rookies face off. The top 2 picks of the 2025 NBA draft, Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper, and it lived up to the hype. Flagg exploded for a game-high 31 points, showcasing some electrifying dunks. Meanwhile, the number 2 pick, Dylan Harper, made his long-awaited debut after a minor groin injury, scoring 16 points in just 20 minutes. The two will play each other a lot for the years to come, and this is only the beginning. So to break down this 1 versus 2 matchup, we bring in our NBA front office insider, Bobby Marks. Bobby, what stood out to you the most about Cooper Flagg's second Summer League performance?
How much time do we have? I think what stood out is how much better he got from game 1 to game 2, and I think there's certainly a comfort level. What you saw for Cooper Flagg, the one thing I wanted to see with him is the ability to go left, and as you see right here, that's the one concern scouts had, and it felt like he made it a mission for every one of his drives to go left. Once he was able to go get downhill like we saw in this game, it kind of just opened up everything for Cooper. He was able to make some shots, certainly getting to the rim here. But as Summer League, as you know, it's about experimenting. It's about getting better each game, and I think we certainly saw that with Cooper Flagg in game 2.
Yeah, and to your point, Flagg said after the game that they want to see him be more aggressive. So 8 for 13 at the free throw line is reflective of that, but he wasn't happy about his missed free throws. He said his mom is going to be upset with him, so you got to love that about him and his mom. Now, you mentioned the improvement of Flagg from game 1 to game 2, so outside of that, who is one player that impressed you the most so far in the Summer League?
Well, it's the one player we talked about a lot last year, and we haven't really talked about this year. It's Bronny James. And you're going to look at his box score the last 2 games, and it's 7 for 18, and he scored 22 points. What's impressed me the most is his defense. And I think we saw that last night against New Orleans, where he had 2 steals, he had a block here, and that's going to be his calling card as far as for him to get into the NBA is from a defensive angle here, as far as in a thin Laker backcourt. So I like what I saw with Bronny James. I like what I saw with Terrence Shannon Jr., who Minnesota is going to rely a lot on this year, especially with the loss of Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Yeah, and that's what's so fun about Summer League. We get to watch these young players get a lot of run and improve throughout the summer. Bobby, we appreciate you waking up early with us. I mean, it is early in Las Vegas, and here you are. I hope you can get a nap in. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
In the biggest summer league, LeBron James, the 40-year-old, exercised a $52.6 million player option with the Lakers last month. He's entering a record 23rd NBA season, but quotes from Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul the day Bron opted in sparked some intrigue about Bron's future in LA. David Meneman is in Vegas with more.
The question on everybody's mind is, where will LeBron be playing next season? What caused the speculation was a statement by LeBron's agent, Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul, given to ESPN's Shannon when James opted into the final year of his contract with the Lakers for $53 million last month, when Paul said LeBron intends to play on a championship contender for whatever time is left in his career. Now, I've checked in with both the Lakers and LeBron's camp on this one. For the Lakers, it's business as usual. They have motivation to compete at the highest level and maximize not just LeBron's timeline, but they want to compete now with Luka Doncic. Some have posited that the true cause of this situation was the Lakers not offering LeBron a contract beyond next season, but Rich Paul told me that they never asked for one. Paul also made it clear to me that LeBron has not asked for a trade, and Paul hasn't even discussed the possibility of wanting a trade in the future with the Lakers. Paul did tell me that 4 teams contacted him with interest in trading for LeBron, though. Now, I asked LeBron just before tip-off if he'd like to join the broadcast to discuss everything, and he told me, quote, "I ain't got nothing to talk about."
Hey, we got a lot to talk about with LeBron entering an unprecedented 23rd NBA season. And if last year showed us anything, it's that he's barely lost a step. The King passed Michael Jordan's 2002-03 season with the Wizards as the oldest player to lead his team in total points in the season. LeBron topped the Lakers last year.
Starting in Texas, the Spurs and Wizards worked out a trade to send Kelly Olynyk to San Antonio. They also signed Luke Cornett in free agency. Janae, how will this center depth help Victor Wembanyama?
Look, this allows their front court to be more flexible because one thing that Victor Wembanyama likes to do is have the rock in his hands, especially when it comes to transition or even being able to shoot from 3. I know he only shot 35% from 3, but now you have a little bit more versatility. I also like them surrounding him with seasoned vets, but most importantly, they've got young talent. This is a team not to be played with in my great state of Texas.
Next to Dallas, sticking in Texas, Shams reported that Anthony Davis had a procedure to repair a detached retina.
Oh.
He should be ready for training camp, according to Shams. The Mavs were crushed by injuries last year. Ramona, is it time for goggles?
Yes, it's been time for goggles. He has a history of getting poked in the eye. I don't know why this seems to happen to him a lot, but back in 2020, look what LeBron James told him to do. LeBron James puts up this tweet, says, Anthony Davis, Jabbar with side by side with Querim Abdul-Jabbar. It's time for goggles, man.
All right, finally reports out of Denver that 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic will not see the contract extension this summer, delaying talks until next year. Jokic has 3 years left on his current deal, including a player option for 27-28. Young Masuk reported on this story yesterday and joins us now here. So, Omi, walk us through this contract scenario with Jokic, and should Denver fans have any cause for concern?
Yeah, and talking to people around the league, and including people from the Nuggets, there's zero concern about this being something like Nikola Jokic left the door open for other teams. This was expected because next year he could sign for a 4th year up to maybe as much as close to $80 million more. Now, if you're a team like the Clippers who have cleared cap space to maintain flexibility, you will have this hope perhaps that maybe, look, something unforeseen could happen. Maybe Nikola Jokic won't be happy with how things end up in Denver. But look at the moves they've done in the last few months. They changed coaches from Michael Malone to Adelman. Adelman gave Jokic more of a voice in those huddles. You saw him being active there. They changed GMs. They went and swapped Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson. They went and got Tim Hardaway Jr. They brought back Bruce Brown, a guy they loved in the locker room, helped them win the title. All of these moves, and Valanciunas, who they still is trending in the right direction. They believe, they're holding him to play next season to be his backup. These are all moves they're doing to make Jokic happy, and by all indications, the Denver Nuggets are not concerned about this at all, that they expected him to wait till next season.
All right, so Jokic could be a free agent as early as 2027, and Ramona, Ohm mentioned the Clippers, but there are a number of teams that are trying to look at space for 2027. How do you see this kind of all shaking out with some of these teams?
I mean, I see the Clippers, and they've got spot for 2 max players in a couple of years. The Lakers are hoarding cap space. In this era, we all just got done covering free agency, and free agency is mostly done by the time we get to July 1st because you can negotiate with your own player if they haven't signed an extension yet, or if you can the day after the finals end, right? And I don't know what they're holding this cap space for. Like, I like the idea. If this was 2015, I like the idea of
even 16.
Even 16. that cap space could actually lead to landing another.
You know what it is, Ramona? I talked to someone today who said it's no longer about free agency anymore and waiting for a free agent to become available and you keep that cap space. Players sign the extensions, get paid, get their money, and then if they want to move, they force a trade. And I think that's where
having the space to absorb the contract, only
but also having manageable contracts that you can trade, several role players that might be attractive on decent, and then you add in the picks. And if you don't have the assets and picks, you find 5 teams to come in the deal to work something out.
Because wait.
NBA record 17.
Right. Because here's the thing. Like, I know a lot of people certainly were stunned by the way the Doncic trade went down because of the lack of assets traded from a draft capital perspective. But